Hello there, hope you had a great week. Welcome to Unscripted, as always, filming at our beautiful location here, Radisson Blue in Arboretum. Now today our conversation, as most times, sensitive and a bit difficult. And I'll start reading a quote. It says, "Growth is painful, change too is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong." I know, that's a heavy one to digest. Well, our guest today has a similar story and she's here to share it with us. So stay right there. Let the show begin. I know it's chilly, so I hope wherever you are, you're keeping warm, you have your coffee, your hot drink with you, and you're ready for the show. With me today is Lilian. Welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you so much for...
Before we get into the story, you can introduce yourself properly. Who are you? What do you want people to know about you?
Well, my name is Lilian Mbuthia, and I'm a mother of one. She's called Zoila, and I am a makeup artist. I do makeup,
Okay.
and also I have a Facebook page that is called This is Lilo, where I keep talking to women about choosing themselves, about walking out from broken or dysfunctional marriages.
So you reached out to us and you said, I have a story that I need to share. In fact, if you could do that at home, if you feel like you have a story you want to share with us, maybe there's someone you know and you feel we need to highlight that conversation, please reach out to us. Unscripted with Grace on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. So for you, like you mentioned, you walked out of a dysfunctional marriage.
Yes.
Take us back. You're together for 7 years.
Yes.
7 years.
Yes.
That's
1, 2, 3, 7.
Exactly. That's a very long time
Yes.
to be dating someone.
Yes.
Then you get married, and 2 years later, all comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
What happened?
So we were college sweethearts. That's where we met.
Okay.
And through the
Those are usually the best. What
yes,
happened?
They were the best.
Yeah.
It was the best initially.
Uh-huh.
So we met and we, of course, fell in love. But we were so young then, and everybody had their goals. So within the 7 years, I think we were still discovering and learning about ourselves and careers.
Yeah.
So, so we dated for 7 years, but in between the 7 years, we had a breakup. So we at some point broke up for 1 year. That's what happened. Then we got married, and after just like 2 years, 2.5, I couldn't stay anymore.
What happened? What went wrong? After being with someone for so long,
Yeah.
you know each other in and out, or I assume you do. What was it that you couldn't handle anymore? What happened?
When we were dating and when we were in that relationship, I think we were okay. I think initially we had a very good relationship, and I think maybe the red flags I saw, I thought maybe with time I will get over them. And
Things
now,
we lie to ourselves.
yes. So, and apparently when you get married, now they magnify and become such a big deal. So when I got married, now I think it was the falling point of whatever everybody had won. And at that point, things started changing. He started complaining about things he never complained over the 7 years we had been together.
Like what?
He started asking me to be like a wife, like you have to wake up, prepare me when I'm going to work, blah, blah, blah. And I think the 7 years we lived, that was not an issue, and it was not something that we had gotten to a point of fighting or quarreling about.
So you lived together for 7 years?
Yeah, we lived together for like six years.
Okay.
Yes, so but now officially we officiated the wedding after.
So you felt after now he's married you,
yes,
Amelipa Mahari or whatever efforts he made.
I told, actually he could use that, now you're mine, you have to do ABCD. And things really became bad. I remember at some point during dating, we had a fight and he beat me and slapped me at some point. But then I thought it was my fault because I had gone with my friend for a youth Larry or youth something fellowship, and then we were late. So when we were coming back home, everybody was being dropped at their home. And now I was the last person to be dropped because I was living along Pika Road.
I see.
So I was the last one at around 12 at night. So when I got home, he was so mad. He's like, what kind of a girl comes home at these times? What? And we had exchange of words. And at that point, he beat me and slapped me.
Oh,
and I thought, well, at first I was mad. And then I think out of what women think, it was my fault. It's me who started exchanging words with him. So it is, I'm a woman, I should have shut up and agree that I was late. So at that point, I was blaming myself. And for that reason, and the fact that I love this guy, I was like, maybe it was my fault. And
did it happen again?
no, that was the first time it happened. And there was this kind of silent treatment. I remember before when we were dating, there's a time I even reached out to his mom and I told him, look, he's silent on me. I don't know what I have done. Can you talk to him? Because he's not talking to me and I don't know actually what is wrong. So those are some of the things that happened during dating that I assumed, and they really affected me. The beating, yes, it happened again after I got married, and now this time it was even worse. Immediately after the wedding and I found out I was pregnant, things started changing. You know the way somebody changes when they are pregnant?
Yeah.
Like
physically?
Physically and emotionally and in so many ways.
True.
So sometimes he could find me sleeping in the house and he's telling me, we kazi yako ni kulala tu na hii mimba yako. And it would tear me down because I'm thinking, how do you feel and I feel? Like I'm feeling tired. I don't even want this body anymore. I don't even understand myself anymore. And then he will come and he will tell me, kazi yako tu ni kulala na mimba. And at that point, it didn't hit me that was, I'm in an abusive relationship.
That's not emotionally.
I thought it was live. Alafu ile mentality tulishaekwa ndoa ni ngumu ni kuvumilia. So this is part of kuvumilia.
You accepted and you're like, this is your reality.
This is part of kuvumilia. So that went on, and I remember at some point he really mishandled me, and I remember this story because it really affected me, because we were supposed to go home to his mom's place and we were supposed to leave Nairobi at 4. We used to live in Kiambu Road. So we were supposed to leave at that place at 4.
Yeah.
So he wakes me up, and apparently for not good reason, I didn't feel like I wanted to shower in the morning. So it was 4 a.m. and I'm thinking, let me put on my dera and we go home. So we are going home after all. So that morning he was so mad at me, like, utaki kuoga na tunaenda home, sijui nini. And he took me and shook me like this and threw me on the bed, and I was like, okay, why are you doing this?
Wait, and are you pregnant at this time?
I'm pregnant.
Wow.
I'm like, why are you doing this? I don't want to shower. I don't want to shower. Like, and there's nothing wrong.
And it's your right home. That's true.
If we're not going for a date or we are going home. Mommy is used to me without makeup. I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to shower that way.
So for me, I mean, those already you're a pregnant woman.
I'm pregnant.
We're full of emotions. You have to be very sensitive.
Yes.
But you don't have a supportive partner in this time.
I am all alone.
What is going through your...
I feel lazy. I feel like, well, this is not what I wanted, but after all, nampenda. But I used to tell myself, nampenda, nitafanya.
Really?
Yeah, I really loved him.
So you said, that's powerful, nampenda nitafanya. You felt like you had no solution.
I didn't have a solution. Where would I go? And he's the only guy I know.
Wow. Let's take a short break. Stay right there. Keep warm. Come back. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Lilian, before the break, pregnant woman, you know, you have your hormones, you're sensitive, you're vulnerable at this point. And if anything, there should be someone who's supportive, who's understanding. Me. Exactly. And you felt like you had no hope or nothing you could do. Really?
Yeah, so that's how I felt. And
did you seek out for any help? Maybe your parents or...
No, apparently, I didn't think if I had to seek for help,
yeah.
I think I preferred seeking help from his side. because I didn't want to tell my people what I am going through.
Why?
Because I felt nitamwaibisha kwa watu wetu, and after this tutasameheana. Then I will not be able to tell them whatever he did. He said he's sorry, you know. Okay. So I just decided to stay with it until now when I delivered.
What happened?
Oh, I went home. Now we went home, and I remember I cried the whole journey from home to Nakuru. I was just crying and I couldn't understand what is happening. So he left me in Nakuru and came back home. And
he left you?
Yes.
Was that the plan?
Somehow it was the plan, because it was just weird staying in that house. So when I stayed in Nakuru, he came back, went silent, and he came back for me after I think 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, and when he came back, I think at that point I was feeling like, isipokuwa ni vile shule zinafunguliwa, I would have preferred to stay at home with mom than to come back, because you will be absent, you don't talk to me. I would rather just stay with mom, because there is nothing much I'm coming to do.
You felt like you were walking on eggshells
yes,
in the house.
Yes. So come December, my baby is a December baby. Okay. I delivered my baby. I won't say he was badly off. He paid the hospital bills. He confirmed that I was okay.
But did they change him, you know?
No, it didn't change him at all. I remember the first clinic that we go like women to go and get checked whether the stitches are healed or nothing. I remember I left him in the house sleeping, and apparently we had a car, so I had to use a matatu. And it is okay to use a matatu. Sure. I don't mind using a matatu. But it is not okay to use a matatu when the person who have made me get to this point of being a mother doesn't carry the burden with me. So I remember how painful it was. Kirukarukishwa na matatu, you have cracked nipples, you're not yet healed. And at that point I kept asking myself, is this what I really signed up for? Why is he treating me the way he's treating me? And I remember after we came back, alininyamazia for so long. I think he alininyamazia December, and he spoke to me next in March. Like,
what?
He could come home in the morning, or he could just come home, stay at the couch until the morning. And I'm there alone. If I am not able to wake up and do something or prepare something for myself, that day will be like that. Because at some point I didn't have a nanny. So it was
so in the house it was you and your baby, and then
me and my baby, and that's it. He could come, make his coffee. He will not even ask me if I have taken anything. Or he'll come and cook and have his food, and he will not ask me. Or even if there is tea in the tap, he cannot put for me tea. Like, I had to wake up and nurse myself and take care of my baby. I remember some nannies around could come and wash for me clothes, wash for me the house. So it was just, and at that point I fell into serious postpartum
depression. That can happen. Yeah.
I was off. I could leave him with the baby. There's a day I left him with the baby and I was like, I'm done. I don't want anybody or anything to do with this life. Wow. So I went, and then I stayed out for like a whole day, and I think I just felt, I can't leave my baby. Let me just go back. Yeah. Let me see how it goes. Yeah, and things never got any better.
And you still had no support system?
I had a support system of maybe my sister and one cousin who used to know what is happening. She would stay once in a while. She come to check on me, come with some maybe food or something. She could just come around and check on. Actually, she did a lot of work on checking on me and my baby.
And did it become violent again, or that didn't happen again?
When my baby was 7 weeks, we had a exchange. Okay. And it was because a very small thing of like, and during the exchange of words, because I remember I was sleeping, I just nilishtukia tu amenislap. So amenislap kwa sababu nimemwambia, I think, enda tu ulale sitting room vile umezoea, instead ya kukuja kwa bed, you're drunk, and You can even sleep on the baby. I'm paranoid. And he was like, kwani wewe mtoto si wangu? Kwani nyumba sio yangu mimi? And I was like, me, we exchanged words. And vile nilishtukia amenislap, amenichapa, and he's asking me, can you leave and go? And that was now the second time that he got violent on me. And apparently, Grace, I still thought I loved him. And I needed to stay. And actually, we did a wedding, so nitaambia watu nini.
So there is abandonment. There is, because that's silent treatment and not caring about you or your child, that's abandoning your family. There's violence.
Yes.
Abuse, you know, verbal. What made you stay?
What made me stay is the person I thought I loved. You know, the person you were dating. That is what made me stay.
The one you met in college?
Yes. The guy who loved me then, the guy who treated me well, the guy who at some point took me back to school, the guy, yeah, he did, the guy who I basically loved. So in my mind, I was so cocooned with what
you had,
what I had and what it was supposed to be like. And I kept telling myself, si alifanya hizo vitu zote, ananipenda, labda ni shetani amemwingia, or maybe I am also playing part into it. And I kept sometimes blaming me, because he always told me, you're not a good wife, you don't even know how to make a home, you should be like other people.
Or he would compare you.
Yeah, he could tell me, naonanga tukienda kwa fulani vile ameka nyumba yake vizuri, why can't you be like that? So I kept blaming myself and thinking, ni mimi niko na shida, ni mimi naongeanga sana, ni mimi, it's me. So every time I stayed because I didn't want to leave him, and I loved him so much.
So each time he would do worse things, you would try and do better.
I would try and do better, or I would try and just stay, because I think it is marriage and we are supposed to stay.
What was the turning point for you?
Well, at some point during our chaos, and I realized that he never had intentions, or he never even used to touch me because he had another girl. And I was not aware. So I kept wondering what happening. But at the moment that I learned that he was cheating and he had an affair, that moment, it really changed me to the worst.
What did you do? What happened?
I became very bitter, very disrespectful, I could not be able to contain myself. I lost, you see, now I am going through postpartum depression. Now, here comes a confirmation that he's actually seeing someone else. And every time I am there thinking, I'm like, after all, he has someone else. And okay, alikuwa na feature to begin with, but penye nilijulia, it was not a big deal anymore. So, and because they used to work in the same office, every time he leave work in the morning, I could tell myself, niko sure ataenda kushinda na msichana wake, and that thing damaged me. It really damaged me.
So for you, that's when you began to realize you can't do this anymore. That was the last
time that I decided I will not do that anymore, after so many frequent fights and violence, was the day that my sister came to my house. There was some arrangement prior that we had gone for some cousins meeting, and the time we were going, he was not home. So I was in school, and I had told my sister, when I come from school, just bring my daughter in town instead of me coming back home, so that we can just go. So we didn't know that he's home, or rather, personally, I didn't even know when he would come back, because when he went, I didn't know. I was not aware where he was.
What happened?
So he had gone for some training in Mombasa. And actually, I learned through Twitter. Niliona picha Twitter nikajua, oh, so he's in Mombasa. Me, I didn't know where he was. So when he came back, and I was not sure the day he's coming back, it was that day that we had a function. So we had arrangements with my sister, and my sister brought my baby to town. So I didn't know he was mad that we took my daughter and brought her to town. So the following weekend, my sister comes home, and I think when he realized my sister is at home, he woke up and started throwing and asking my sister never to come again, never to take his daughter again. And the way he told him that I am such a useless woman, alikuwa anamwambia sister yako ni useless sana, nashindwa atatoka kwa hii nyumba lini. Can you tell her to go? I don't want her.
Oh, no.
And can you all go na msiwahi chukua mtoto wangu tena na msiwahi sijui. Hey.
How did you handle that rejection? That's rejection.
And at that point I felt so bad. I have brought my sister up. So my sister, I'm the only mother that she knows. Or well, she has other mother figures, but I have played the role of a mom. Our mom passed on when she was very small. So for you to tell my sister that I'm useless, and for you to tell my sister that you don't want me in your house, and that there is nothing you want to do with a woman like me, I think for the many times he asked me to get out, to go, he doesn't want me and he's done with me. I think at that point now I was like, yes, apparently he's done. You don't tell that to my sister. You don't tell my baby that. You don't tell her never to come to my house again.
Of course. That's not
and
right.
If anything, you should have told me, not my sister.
Okay.
You do not attack your in-laws.
Yeah.
You attack me, I go and tell them, this is what happened and we should not do this again.
So from then on, that was it?
That was the last weekend there. Because from there, I packed when my sister was packing her things because she was told to leave and not to stay. Yes, she was told to leave.
You packed with her?
Yeah, I packed with her. She didn't used to live with me. She had just come to visit. So she took everything that was in our house. And when she left, I followed her. Wow. And that is when I went to look for a house.
And he let you go? He watched you and your daughter leave?
Yeah. When I went to look for a house, that was that day when my sister was being thrown out. So when I went, I looked for a house. I had now plans to move out the following.
I see. That's when your exit plan began?
Yes, that's when my exit plan began, and I was decided I'm going.
You're done. Wow. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now this is, I know it's not an easy conversation. That's a lot for one person to go through. So you got to your point where enough was enough.
Enough was enough.
So what was your exit plan? Where did you go? How did you start over? There could be a woman at home who has, like you said, you hold on because you don't know where you'll begin. You have your children, this is your family. That's the loss of a dream, of plans you had for your future. And now you have to figure life, all over again and start afresh. How did you do it?
When that time came for me to leave in, I knew we would fight over my baby. And I knew we would not fight because he really wanted to be with the baby, but just to manipulate me because he knew I wanted to be with my baby. And he kept telling me, weenda tu niachie mtoto. And I was wondering, so I am the bad one, but the child is niye mzuri. Like, mtoto, you want to remain with the child.
How was he with his daughter? How was their relationship? Was he a present father? Was he a good dad?
I think he was a present father then. But me and him were we would not even see each other. We could even stay for a week without seeing each other. He'll come home at 12. I'll be leaving for work at 5. So we could even stay for a week without seeing each other.
But was he spending time with his child?
Yeah,
That's still his child?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
So I think he really wanted to be left behind with his kid. But again, my daughter was young. She was only 2 years. So there's no way I could have left my child.
Of course.
So when that day came, I remember it was my daughter's birthday, and I was so tired of, we can't even do anything for our baby. Like, we are this bad. We can't be good parents. We keep fighting in front of Nanny, in front of my baby, and it was just...
It was unhealthy.
It was not healthy. And that day I just woke up and I think he felt it. I think he felt I wanted to leave. Because other weekends he never stayed at home, but that specific weekend
He knew.
He never left the house. In fact, for me to leave, niligojea tu atoke kidogo. Nikatoa vitu kidogo nje, which actually I didn't even manage to go with them. Tulipitana hivi kwa mlango. What he didn't know, because I didn't have any change of clothes.
You left with nothing?
I left with nothing except my baby. In fact, I went to ask for my friend to give me a bra. Because nilitoka tu.
You had enough, you left with nothing?
I left nothing.
Wow.
So I went to my friend's place. It was so overwhelming. Like it's like news somebody close to you have died. You see the overwhelming, now you don't know what to do.
I know, that's when it hits you.
It's a dream come to an end.
Yeah.
I have given up on him. I have given up on this marriage, and I have to now know how will I even go forward? How will I raise this baby alone?
Exactly.
What will I tell people who came to my wedding, who contributed, who wished as well? What am I going to tell them?
But that aside, how are you? How is your heart? How is your child?
At that point, my heart was crushed. At that point, I couldn't even talk. Nilikuwa tu nafungua mdomo, machozi inatoka. My friend is asking me, what is it? Namwambia tu mimi nimechoka. Just let me rest here tonight and then I know the way forward. Remember, I have paid the house and I'm not able to go and start alone. I don't know how to start alone.
Because you've never been. You've been together since college.
I have never been alone.
Wow.
I don't even. And now I'm being alone with my baby. How do I even start? Sina kitu and ni mattress tu niko nayo.
Wow. And what did you do?
I went to my cousin and stayed for 2 weeks. There I bought a mattress and at least my emotions zikatulia kidogo. And then when we closed work, I decided to now go to my house. Okay. As much as it was still difficult, I went with my mattress. I bought a stove.
Your mattress, a stove, pole.
I bought a stove. I bought some plastic cups and I bought sufurias. Unajua ile life ya kole ukianza unaosha haka kuchemsha maji.
The same one ndio unafanya.
Yes. And it really hurt me when I was starting and I'm thinking, I have built an empire for like 10 years. It's down. I have moved out without anything. Yeah. And here I am with my baby. My baby who has never seen a stove, she's here. I have some photos of how she was scared. She's used to this posh life now. We are in like a small single house with stove. And at that point, I preferred being there than in the good house I was without peace. So at that point, I started accepting pole.
That was the beginning of your healing journey.
It was difficult, Grace. And I think people who stay in toxic marriages and relationships, it is that initial stage that scares
difficult.
Away.
Yeah.
At some point, if he entertained me, I could have gone back. If he looked for me, I think I could have.
Because it's hard.
But I think I am happy they never came for me. Apparently, they have never come home. So they have never come to home to say I left or anything. And I think also that thing really hurt me and wonder. I was married like legally. Mulinikujia kwetu na neti. Why didn't they have the audacity to come and say Lilian left?
What happened?
Lilian did ABCD. And I was left like that in the streets. It has been a journey, but I thank God for the far I have come. And right now I'm doing much better.
Good. It's 2 years, almost 2
years
later.
It's almost 2 years. It's 1.5 years now. I am okay. I am perfect. My baby is very well. But then she used to get so many sicknesses. But I think when I left and I started the healing journey, I also started having a good relationship with my baby.
Okay. Before it was...
I was off.
I see.
I was so off to a point he could tell me he wish he can give out my baby to nanny because the nanny is a better mom. And the nanny knows my baby better. I'm such a useless mother. I don't know how to take care of my child.
Yet, the reality is you're so broken.
I'm so broken.
You can't be whole to be a parent. Yeah.
Yes, I can't even eat. I was so thin. And I remember when people used to ask me, I used to make it look like it's a weight loss journey because I couldn't tell people what really is eating me.
I need to ask this though, before it all came crumbling down, because I believe in trying and resolving. Did you feel the two of you gave it your all? Did you try counseling? Do you feel like you gave it 100% before walking away?
I think personally on my side, I gave it my best. Well, we had best couples who took us, who tried helping us.
So you tried, but it didn't work.
Yeah, at some point I wanted to involve parents. I remember telling his mom to look for people to come and talk to him or to us because it is really getting worse.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. Instead, aliita kijana wake akaenda. I don't know what they talked. And apparently he also took his son for counseling. Mm-hmm. So me, I was
There was
left,
no couple counseling?
There was no couple counseling. And at some point I was told to look for a counselor. Then wakati nimetafuta nimepata, they shut down. So I was like, yeah, I don't have money enough to pay for a counselor. So there was no point we got counseling both of us.
I see.
I think my prayerful life and my being constant in good relationship and asking God for favor and healing, I think kuomba sana kumenisaidia because I wouldn't on my own. It was so difficult.
I need to ask a hard question. Have you forgiven him?
Yes, I have. At this point, I have. I have forgiven him, imagine.
You've let it go?
I have let it go. And
if he came today, because the two of you made that child, and he wants to be in his life, would you let him? Be in your child, in her life, would you let him? Have you guys had a conversation, tried to co-parent?
We always dispute about the issue of being
present.
There. But I think I fear the part that he kept threatening me. If he takes that baby, I will never see that baby again. So I keep asking if maybe we can go it the legal way, such that I'm very sure if you take my baby today, on Sunday,
I'll see my baby. Okay.
Bring her back. Okay. But with the kind of manipulation I went through, and even the fact that they have never come home, I don't know what they are capable of doing if I give them that baby. Okay. My trust with them is zero.
And your mother instinct is telling you to protect your child.
I just want to protect her when the time is right. Okay. Yeah. And the fact that he doesn't do much of baby support. I see. So I am doing just alone. So it also makes it very difficult for me. Being realistic and being human. Leave alone those people who color things. Being very human, it is not easy for me. Because I'm struggling as well. And raising a child alone is not easy. And maybe when he will atajita kamkutano na realize anafaa kusaidia mtoto wake bila kuambiwa na mtu. Maybe at that point, and maybe at that point we will talk. But about everything he did to me and all the choices he did on the cost of my feelings and my heart, I have forgiven.
Let it go.
I've let it go.
Do you still love him?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not
your heart
even
is,
a little. I don't.
Your heart is okay?
Very okay.
That's what's important.
My heart is very okay, very, very okay. And I would like to maybe tell somebody who is watching me that living a marriage is not easy, and staying in a dysfunctional marriage, it's not easy either. You have to choose a place where you will heal. Because until you heal, you will never do anything with yourself. Get people who can understand you, because you can be very emotional. Personally, I took a road of writing. I used to write about everything that happened to me. I used to put it everywhere, and as much as at some point it felt like naibisha the other party, to me I was healing. To me I was like, this is what happened to me. when I was going through this, I was silent. So guys, can you let me talk?
In fact, as we finish this part of the show, why did you reach out to share this story? Why do you want someone at home to hear this story?
I want somebody to know that it is possible, and marriage is not a death sentence. If it stops working, I think it is better if at the point I learned it stopped working, I left at that point, because maybe we could not have been so extreme. I could not have been bitter.
Yeah.
We could be maybe co-parenting
better.
And if you don't have the energy to, or somebody who is supporting you, or you're not strong enough to tell yourself this will be over, you will die in that marriage. People are killing each other in marriages.
That's true.
And I tell people, don't think they wake up one day and decide I'm killing her today. It is just
time.
an argument.
That's
it
true.
raises. You take a stool, you hit him, and he's gone.
Just like that, yeah.
And just like that, nimeenda Langata, just like that, mtu ameenda Kamiti, you've left children suffering. Why? Because you refuse to accept that imeacha kuwork. Ikiacha kuwork, let go. I always say this a million times. A divorced daughter is much better than a dead daughter. My dad is happy to see me alive today. Actually, hi Dad, if you're watching, I love you so much. And I wish every woman who is looking for strength, because again, walking out of marriage is not easy.
It's not.
Any woman looking for strength to walk out, I pray that atapata hiyo nguvu ya kuamua enough is enough. This life is about me. And you can actually look on my page. This is Lilo on Facebook and on Instagram.
Okay.
And you can also watch and read my posts and see what I talk about, because I know people hide these things under the carpet. They don't want to talk.
That's exactly why I asked you why you decided to share. So thank you for being brave. I know it's not an easy conversation. So thank you for sharing your story. We wish you all the best in your new season, you and baby. May you smile now going forward. Yes, more of that beautiful smile. And to you at home as well. If you're in a dead situation, don't lose hope. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Look at Lilian now. She's here to tell her story. And I believe so can you too. So I hope you've taken something from this. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Radisson for hosting us. Until next week, remember, do reach out to us. Our details are right here. Otherwise, goodbye and God bless.